Jazz Agoo says, big fan of the show, been watching since the wrestling anal days. For those who don't know, Stevie Richards' wrestling analysis went on the YouTube app on your phone. Always cut off at the L for analysis.
I tried to change the name. There's nothing else I can think of.
Outside of sports games, what are your top 5 video games of all time?
Oh, I mean, wow. The Batman Arkham City game, which was the second one, I believe. There was Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight. Arkham City I actually completed, and it was an amazing game. It was so much fun to do that. I don't know what put me in the mindset back then to sit down and do however many dozens of hours with that game. Outside of wrestling, I would say NFL 2K5 is the greatest football game ever made.
Non-sports, specifically as for non-sports.
Good Lord. GoldenEye for 64, 007 GoldenEye, right up there.
It's so archaic, though, the controls, and
no,
I loved
when I was
you're
playing
odd job,
it,
and you're playing slaps and multiplayer, brilliant. So you can only chop each other to death. That's great. Or, a man with a golden gun. But, man, it's archaic compared to your Call of Duties and what now.
Have you ever played the Die Hard trilogy game or
Yes.
the regular Die Hard game on the original PlayStation, correct? PlayStation 1?
Yeah, when I bought the PlayStation, that was the demo that came with it. You got like the black disc with the demo, and they'd always update throughout the years. Anyway, when I got it, I had that as a demo. Because it was trilogy, it was 3 separate games, but I had the one on the demo that was on the rails, the rail shooter, basically. Loved it, played that to death. I loved it.
The other one on the original Xbox would be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, although I got the order number wrong because I asked AI last week. Dumb AI sucks. So Star Wars, I get through these things where I'm like, I'm just obsessed with a game. I haven't been like that in a long time, but Batman Arkham City made me sit down and be obsessed about completing the game because the storyline, much like Knights of the Old Republic, had such a weirdly deep storyline that was choose your own adventure, but it was a little bit linear at the same time. You didn't have to go so far off the rails. I think the other one would be Grand Theft Auto.
San Andreas, I played that thing to death, man. What a game. What annoys me, the one thing, you can't go back to it though, because in the later ones, you can flip the car over when you inevitably flip it on its roof. You can just do the control thing and then flip it back again. And you get that sort of quality of life thing on San Andreas didn't exist at that point.
I was going to say, really I only pay attention. Grand Theft Auto is the only star ratings I pay attention to when the cops are chasing you.
That's 3 or 4. So GTA, GoldenEye, Star Wars, and what was the other one you said, the first one? Forget it. You've got one more.
I got one more. Oh, my goodness. I should have played some games yesterday and today. I don't get these questions until just before the episode. Oh, here we go. I haven't played it in forever since the MS-DOS days. Star Trek: A Final Unity. Amazing game. The best Star Trek game ever made. I tried to play on the Genesis, Super NES. I tried to play Star Trek Online. I tried to play all these. Star Trek Bridge Crew is also right up there, I should say. A Final Unity, but when I had the PSVR, the original one, with my PS4, I'd play Star Trek Bridge Crew, and then sometimes Big Sal would join me, and I would order him around and be a really bad captain of the Enterprise. Really good game.
I've written a few down, you tell me. Call of Duty Warzone. Super Mario World. I never hear you talk about Nintendo, really. But I love Nintendo games, man. But Super Mario World,
the only Nintendo game I would play would be Animal Crossing when I was on the road.
It's too ambling. There's no aim.
Well, you know what it is? It's like Stardew Valley. Basically, they have to hook you into playing the game every day because the world continues if you don't play. You can come back and then everything. I was fascinated by that. It was almost like kind of AI before AI in a way. When you're looking at the game, you're like, wow. There's a ton of Dreamcast games too, but they're mostly wrestling and sports-based games I would play.
I put Wii Bowling for some reason. I just love Wii Bowling.
Oh, Wii Sports. All right, there we go.
But that counts as sports, though, so that's why I didn't want to put it in. But, man, Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, man, great.
You want to talk about a game that's worth buying a system for. The Wii Play, the Wii Sports, the Wii Sports Resort. we would just play that. The bowling was great. The archery was great.
Yeah.
Lots of great games.
Frisbee. One that people forget on the golf, of course. One that people seem to forget on Wii Sports Resort is the fruit chopping, and you have to a bit of fruit or whatever would land, and you've got to do it in the right direction. I loved that, and I've still got the Wii U down there somewhere that I could actually have a go at any time now. I've a couple more I'm going to mention. Last of Us, the original remastered, is still the best story that's ever been told in a game. I loved The Last of Us. I played that to death. One that I always forget about, but I played umpteen times, Pokemon Soul Silver, which was the 4th gen remaster of the 2nd gen Pokemon Silver or Heart Gold or whatever, it doesn't matter. I just, the first 2 generations of Pokemon, loved them. Like, I wasn't like a geek for the anime or anything like that. I just thought the games were fantastic.
Yeah, so you're not going to be a Pokemon Go person that hangs outside like fire stations and police departments, or going to Target when the new Pokemon's coming out.
Oh, dude, if at the time, because I don't think we got like, you know, when you had to get like a Pokemon that you had to go to a physical shop for, and there were only a few in the world. I know they were always in Tokyo or New York, and that was it. And you know, if it was going to be an Arceus or something like that, and you're never going to get it unless you flew 6,000 miles. And then also knew about the giveaway as well at the same time. Not a chance. Just do a game shop.
I'm going to give you one more that the second one disappointed me a little bit so far because I bought it for the Steam Deck. But I used to play Red Dead Redemption all the time, basically based off of Grand Theft Auto. Did you ever go to YouTube and see like the meme with that woman in the beginning of Red Dead Redemption and all the crazy things they would do to her? Like throw her in and have her eaten by alligators or bring her up to the roof. She was like, she was somebody petitioning, I think, for women's voting rights or some weird, they tie her up and drag her with a horse. And I mean, future wrestling fans, I guess.
I thought 2 was too, but I love 1, but I thought 2 was too boring. It just took
that's
too long to get going.
Yeah, 1 was like, we're right into it. I'm just scratching the surface of 2, and I'm like, man, I should have just bought another game like Elder Scrolls Oblivion or something like that, or Assassin's Creed, which also can kind of like, depending on the type you do, they're all different games within their own thing. What are you getting?
All my games are right behind me, so I'm trying to look at like some of those. I do actually have Animal Crossing, but like all I did was fishing on it, and then I just got bored. But like, of all the Mario games and the Donkey, like I'm one of the only people who really love Donkey Kong 64, despite the fact it's just a big collectathon. I'm trying to think what else I used to play that aren't sports games. A million things, I'm sure.
It's pretty hard to do unless you want to sit down and we think about I always look up how many hours does this take to complete, and I'm like, as good as it is, 80 hours, I'm not sure.
You know, there's only 3 times in my life where I saw a game and my mind blew at the technological advancement. The first one was when we got the Super Nintendo. You call it the Super Nintendo, we just call it the SNES. When we first got the SNES and the Mega Drive, which is the Mega Drive everywhere in the world apart from in the States, which is the Genesis. Because all we had before then was the Intellivision and the Commodore 16+4, which was the underpowered European exclusive version of the 64. And then we went from that, because we skipped the NES. We skipped like the 8-bit and went straight to 16-bit. Like we skipped like from 1-bit to 16. So there was, whether it's Streets of Rage 1, which I still maintain is the best of the Streets of Rages, no one agrees with me. Best soundtrack, if nothing else. Sonic 2, because we had Sonic and Sonic 2 with it, a few more games. Man, the Lotus driving game was great, and Top Gear was great on that. Then we went to the SNES, and man, when Killer Instinct came out, I thought those graphics were amazing. Or Vector Man, which were like late edition versions, at like, 95, 96. Oh, Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the PlayStation specifically, I loved. But there were 3 games that blew my mind. 1 is when we made the jump from 1-bit to 16. 2 was Mario 64. I nearly cried when I saw that. I was so amazed.
3D models, yeah.
Amazing. And Wii Sports. Couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I was 20. Like, I wasn't even, like, a boy anymore, but I'm just, like, I was so filled with awe seeing Wii Sports. Amazing game.
Did you, you talked about ColecoVision. I love ColecoVision. Do you remember Rock and Rope?
No, I had the Intellivision, the ColecoVision.
Oh, okay.
Different.
There's another game in television, I think, but definitely the consoles as they went along. Favorite game probably for years and years and years, Pitfall.
Yeah. I did have that.
Yeah, you'd swing the rope. And you're like, oh, no, I didn't let go in time. You're down there and you get eaten by the alligator.
I've got 2 more for you. Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation. Love that game. And Theme Park or Theme Hospital. Either of the originals of those
I played
2.
Theme Hospital. That was really good.
Man, I love Theme Hospital. Did you have it on PC? Because the PC one froze. But the PlayStation
for
one
a
didn't.
time I did. Yeah, then I had it on console, and that wasn't that great of an experience. Consoles are never that great of an experience. Even with the Sims, sometimes it's not. You know, we don't put up clown paintings and burn them on the wall and trap somebody in a room with no doors like a certain co-host. Did I get that wrong?
I never not burst out laughing when I did it. For people who don't know, what I used to do, like people with no imagination, if they wanted to kill a Sim, would put them in the pool and then take away the ladder, then they'd eventually drown. What I would do is put everybody... What I would do is have a room with no doors and just a fireplace, a load of rugs on the floor, and as many clown paintings that I could fit on the wall, right?
Because eventually... The amount of thought you're putting into this is like disturbing.
No one told me to do this, though. I didn't read this.
That's even more. You're making it worse.
and then eventually, because a clown would pop out the painting, so then you just have this room with 20 clowns in it, all bumping into each other, and then one of them would dick around with the fireplace and then just burn the entire... Like, it wouldn't even be gradual burning. It'd just be like, the clown would just touch the fireplace, and then every single square would just become flames. Every single time I did that, and it was way more than once.
I thought it was bad that I would just stand there and never leave the party and be the last one there, and the people would cry, and I'd follow them up to their bedroom.
Yeah. You just wouldn't let them go to the bathroom.
Lord, I've never seen you laugh so much.
Oh, man. I was a very weird child. But that was the way to really enjoy yourself on The Sims.
See, my wife thought I was a sociopath because I played Sims one time, and all I kept doing outside was banging the garbage can, and the person kept coming out crying because I wouldn't let them sleep. But then I told her your story, and she said, yes, you can just keep banging the trash can. I prefer that.
Do you know what bums me out about getting older? It's because I don't have the patience for, like, city skylines or Thingy Coaster.
SimCity I used to play all the time.
Oh, the original one. The music of that is great. When I was writing books still, I would just have the OST of that in the background. I loved the SimCity music. Do you get nostalgia for the games more for the music than the games themselves sometimes?
Well, GoldenEye for sure. I love the pause music. Somebody has an 8-hour loop of the pause music.
So like an YouTube. ASMR falls asleep too.
I also fall asleep to the Star Trek warp engine sounds.
Oh, God.
Yes, I do.
I've got tinnitus, as I've mentioned maybe once before. So I always have to have something in the background.
You should try. You're going to sleep. It's like Delta Wave music. It's awesome.
No, I have to listen to podcasts. I have to concentrate on something. So all I do at the moment, since we're doing being a bunch of squares on games, is I follow this dude on he's called JRose11, and all I do is listen to him doing solo runs on Pokemon Red and Blue. And that's all he does other things as well, all Pokemon related, but I listen to this dude every night, and it sends me off, man. And I weirdly think that's the best compliment you can give someone. Like, if someone says, oh, your podcast makes me fall asleep, it's like, brilliant.
Yeah, people say that about this one, and it's relaxing. I don't take that as an insult whatsoever. We should do a gaming podcast. It seems like we already did one just now. That segment was pretty long.
Man, we get so enthusiastic about these things. Do you know what's going to really annoy you about this, right? Do you ever buy games and just keep them in the wrapper?
No, I haven't done that since I was a kid.
Dude, I've still got Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Not the Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild. I got that when I got the Switch. I've still not unwrapped it.
It's an amazing game.
Fresh in its packaging.
Breath of the Wild. That's a console game to just buy for that one.
I think some people will say Mario Kart. I mean, if you're going to do the Switch, but like the Switch 2, man, there's nothing grabbing me. And I love Donkey Kong, and I want to give the new one a go.
Is it $80?
Yeah, but here's the thing about game prices, is that games have actually been, if you're going to take inflation into account, they've been too cheap for decades. Like, since, I'll give you an example. I remember asking for Sonic and Knuckles in 1994 for Christmas, and I remember looking through the Argos catalogue, or the Index catalogue, or the Littlewoods or whatever. It was £40 in 94. Games these days are maybe £60, maybe, for like a AAA premium game kind of thing. Not including, the special edition Swizzes and all that scam. But it's like, if you're doing it for inflation, that game would be £100 now. And I think a lot of people complain about it, but it's one of those things that just have not gone in line up with inflation. I don't mind paying 60.
Yeah, but you know what they're complaining about? Not the price, even though the price is the price. The fact that the actual game has been shortened up and less, it's shrinkflation for the game, and you got to buy the DLC after that.
Yeah.
That's the crime. If you were saying it's a full feature game and we just had to raise prices, but that's not what they're doing.
What do you think of L.A. Noire? Flawed, but I love the acting in that game.
What was that?
L.A. Noire.
Oh, I finished that. Yes, that is probably the most recent game that I finished. I loved it. Yeah, I love that game. I played it on, I think, PS4.
Yeah, I re-downloaded like the remastered one. The technology hadn't caught up with the idea of it just yet, because a lot of it's all wonky. The facials are really overly realistic, but then like the graphics don't quite catch up with the facial movements, so you almost get this like faded, like if their like head is there and they move, you almost get like I can't even think of the word.
Yeah, but it has
a shadow of where it used to be kind of thing.
But it has a very vintage look to it, along with the good graphics. And plus, they tried to take some of the stuff with, driving the car and the other things, kind of like a little bit of a Grand Theft Auto, watered down Grand Theft Auto type feel.
There's nothing really to hunt around, though. It's not rewarding to explore.
I said watered down.
Map.
I didn't say it was exact. I just said you get a little taste of that. But it was a good game. It was a really good game to finish.
Yeah, the architecture's fantastic in the game, but there's like the world around you doesn't breathe, doesn't have a life of its own, like Grand Theft Auto 5, for example. And I thought, if they had GTA 5 with just the slightly upgraded graphics, so you don't have all these blurs when the face moves. Have you ever seen on YouTube where it's got the detective and he's just like schizophrenic with his question asking?
No, I haven't seen that.
He is funny. That's really funny. But there's so many familiar faces. I know a lot of them were in Mad Men, a lot of the same actors, and they all had to go to Australia, where it's like Bondi Games or something, where it is, and then they team a Rockstar. But I don't think we'll ever get a sequel to that, and I think that's such a shame, because I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I mean, it was perfect for the time. If they can apply that to modern day police, that would be pretty cool.
Well, they wouldn't show up unless you write something mean on Twitter these days. So.
There could be, thought crime noir.
Yeah, Thought Crime Noir 2025. Doesn't have to be in the future. Right, this is actually a follow-on. Daniel M. says, it's more of a gaming question, seeing how Stevie likes Madden. Did you ever try NFL Blitz on PlayStation 1 or GameCube? And if so, did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Blitz was awesome, especially, I think I spoke about it before. Blitz gave you a totally different experience, obviously more violent, more kind of just out there with everything it did, more of an arcadey type thing. For some reason, it blew my mind that like a player would get injured, go on the sidelines. And I remember the first time this happened, it gave you a choice. You're either going to be out for like 2 quarters or the whole game if you just want to do regular rehab, or we can give you a shot of steroids and you're out for 1 play. I was like, oh my God. It was gone before, in the next iteration of Blitz, it was gone. And I think Blitz actually for a time, maybe still now, it's a premium on that game because of things like that, cheating and doing things like that, which really like was crazy. So yeah, I never played it on the GameCube. At GameCube, it wasn't a system I really wanted, although Day of Reckoning I heard was amazing on GameCube. I stuck with PlayStation and then Xbox, and between those two.
Oh, dude, I had the GameCube. Man, I think the only game that I got that I didn't get involved with was Beautiful Joe. And it was like a cell shading game. And I know, was it Jet Set
not
Radio?
Beautiful V,
Yeah, it was
right?
called Beautiful, yeah, Beautiful Joe. That was actually worth something when I sold it. I never got on with that thing. There's another one. Metal Gear Solid 2, specifically. Or the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 that was exclusive on the GameCube, which is worth a ton. Got another one for you that I love. Pikmin. What a game Pikmin was.
How do you spell that? I'm not familiar with that game.
What? Pikmin. Pikmin. And they're also in Super Smash Brothers. Another great game if it's Melee. The second one on the GameCube. I was a big GameCube
Is this a Nintendo
fan.
product?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You never played Smash Brothers?
I played Smash Brothers, but I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, dude. Man. Pikmin's
But Metal Gear
game.
Solid, that sound effect on my fitness channel, when something's expensive, I use that sound effect. I'm like, whoa.
There's one more as well, and then we'll move on. The
How about Jeff Jarrett and
remaster.
Acclaim? Aha. My favorite game company now.
Man, that's... Oh, well, we've got another game company coming up in a second we want your opinion on. Resident Evil, the remaster. Me and my brother still say to each other, Jill, what is this place? It never fails to... Do you know what my biggest scare in gaming ever was Resident Evil 2, the first time you were introduced to the liquor.
Yeah.
Man.
I want to get the
hate horror
MetaQuest
games.
3 just for that game, and also the Batman game that usually gets bundled in with it. That's my next thing, is that I don't want to go PSVR 2 because it's tethered and the games are expensive. The MetaQuest 3 seems to have, a good selection of games. I don't know why I like the Bouncer game. Approve or deny. You ever see the...
That's so funny. And Drunken Bar Fight and all those ones are so funny. I told you, I got Drunken Bar Fight and I was steaming the first time I played it. That you've got these wands that you hold in your hands, and you can't see where you're going because you... Anyway, one, I gave myself horrible vomit.
Motion sickness.
The motion sickness. And two, I started throwing kicks. You can't register your feet. And then three, I fell over my own sofa. And at that point, I was like, I'll save it to the morning.
All right, maybe I got to reconsider. I've already been injured enough. I don't need to be going through the window.
Oh, dude, yeah. You will as well. Someone tried to get me to play Resident Evil 7 on the headset, right? I didn't even get to the first monster, and I tapped out. I was like, no, because I'm a big girl. I hate horror films. I hate being scared. I couldn't play Mortal Kombat for years in case there was a fatality because I was such a wet.
You want to hear the two things that would be kind of, how can I put it, just a waste of money, but the biggest value ever if you play the game all the time? Playing Microsoft Flight Simulator or one of those games and using the yoke, the Logitech Velocity 1 yoke, or here's a combination for you. Since we both have PS5s, you have a PS10 though. Playing Gran Turismo 7 with the PSVR 2 and the steering wheel and the gear shifter and the pedals. You want to talk about a loadout for a game? There you go.
Would you ever do it? I know if you had the space and the money, I know you would. Would you get like a total 180 screen around you for driving?
I've already talked to my wife about that. She said, no, we don't have the room.
I don't blame her. Worms. Did you ever play Worms?
I did.
Armageddon or World Party?
Yep. And Earthworm Jim. Or is that his name? Earthworm Jim?
Yeah, but that's a 2D one. Apart
No,
from
what
the
I'm
3D
saying,
one.
I played, you reminded me of that game. We played a lot of games.
Okay,
Except
I'm going
for
to end
Pikmin.
with one, which I think it probably got to the States, but it was a Virgin Interactive game. And it was sponsored by like 7-Up. Cool Spot. As far as like platformers go, I really loved Cool Spot. Do you remember that?
I remember the game. I have not played it.
Okay, then. Well, we don't need to get into like Bubsy and stuff like that. We've got to go for the more niche platformers. So we're going to move on to one more gaming question. Trismagistus Magpie asks, how do you feel about Saudi Arabia buying EA, Electronic Arts? They own Madden.
Well, Madden can't get any worse or phone it in more every year. So hopefully the Saudis will scare EA Sports into creating a game like the greatest football game ever made, NFL 2K5. All Pro 2K8 is also very good and very awesome. Honestly, I don't know what Saudi Arabia's play is. Is there any news attached to this? Like, I don't know what their play is except owning everything. And like you said, you called it sports washing. It's a good term. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, why did they buy EA? Outside of the fact that they've turned us, they've done the the turning people over, Vanilla Ice, I always say M&M, and shaking their pockets loose. They have fleeced the consumer based just on Madden alone, that they've been so profitable that Saudi Arabia, I guess, says we can buy them. But what's the play for buying a video game company?
Just buying existing properties known the world over to legitimize their own regime and get Saudi Arabia further in the minds of people in the West, I guess. That's basically it. They've got almost a bottomless well of money. Are you as... Because we criticise WWE for working with the Saudi Arabian regime, the government there, the Crown Prince and the Sports Authority and Turkey Al Sheikh and all that kind of thing. Do you hold EA to the same standard?
Yeah, EA's reputation has been destroyed for years. They don't care.
It's already in the toilet.
Yeah, we're going to just sell it. You think you're mad now? Watch this. Enjoy the show. Or enjoy the game. No, I think EA's been destroyed. Dude, there's people that make like Soft Drink TV and other people, they make a living off of bad reviews for Madden. Angry Joe, we always tune in his angry review of Madden, which is the same, just like the game. The review is the same every single year. So why not? They're already selling out the fans by microtransactions, this ultimate team crap, and taking things out that, quite frankly, even on the emulation, Madden 08 has more features than Madden 26. What are we doing here? They were the villain. They lived long enough to become the villain back in 08, 9, 10, when they bought the exclusive license, not because they wanted to put the best gaming product out there, but only to destroy 2K Sports. They did a WWE thing. We're not going to make our product better. We're just going to buy up everything and make everybody worse.
Speaking of which, what do you make of 2K 2K games?
Saudi doesn't. Turkey doesn't like that.
Yeah, no, 2K. No, we've got to stop that. 2K games in general, because I used to love NBA 2K. Like I had 11. I was playing. He's on fire. Jam.
NBA Jam.
Yeah, and then there was I had NBA 96 and
Let's
stuff
go back
like that.
further just to hold your thought.
Yeah.
One of the first games that was played online, 2 games I should say, NBA 2K1, World Series 2K, and 2K1. NFL 2K was back then. They had basketball, football, and baseball. I remember connecting a phone line, not even high-speed internet, a phone line to play people online. The Dreamcast was way ahead of the curve between that, another game that's not sports related, Phantasy Star Online. You sent something to the chat yesterday. I played that for the Dreamcast. They had the online infrastructure in 2000, 2001. So 2K, way before Madden, was doing great work.
I think the first console to have internet capabilities was the SNES. And it might have only been Japanese versions in hotels or something.
That big thing you plugged into the back, right?
I don't know. I think it might have even been these like hotel exclusive like Famicom things.
It was a Super Famicom, you're right.
Yeah, so you could like download games onto it or something. Because I know they tried it with the Nintendo 64, with the 64DD or whatever it was. What was that? That it was basically Japan exclusive with that giant gold man. And
I think the first thing that officially, Dreamcast was kind of official, but not advertising and wanting to sell something on the internet. The original Xbox with Xbox Live was the infrastructure of Microsoft making online play, but they had it with Windows and PC, and people were playing online before that.
So to get on my other point, PGA 2K21. I've played loads. I think the last basketball game I probably really got into was 16 or something. I tried a couple more. They weren't the same. But you can see year on year the microtransactions just get more and more out of hand. Who do you think's like the... And also every game is more and more similar to the preceding one. Who do you think is the worst offender for that, EA or 2K?
EA. 100% EA. You just described EA's business model with Madden especially. Just nothing good. This take 10 features away, but then by 2026, let's put two back. No. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but they removed features. They bought the license and had the ESPN presentation and never used it. That was what made NFL 2K5 just like, wow. Chris Berman, halftime show, real stats, things like that. No, I mean, everybody's offending now, but EA was the one that started this microtransactions, giving you less, making you pay for everything, these stupid Ultimate Team packs, just not for me.
The FIFA thing, I don't know if it's the same thing, but in FIFA, for years, you buy packs where you can use like a player once. I dropped out of FIFA so many years ago, so I don't understand these basically gambling loot box mechanics, where there have been lawsuits over this, promoting gambling to under 18s, and also having this base. It's the same actually with Counter-Strike. You know, where they've got like... It's almost, I think they get around gambling laws because it's somehow a lottery where you can get like certain desirable skins for guns and stuff, and then they can resell them on these sites and then, you know, come away with actual money at the end of it. CSGO, I think. But FIFA's really bad for it. For, you know, Ultimate Team and, you know, hopefully...
So it's just EA Sports across the board.
Exactly,
EA in general,
yeah.
because EA owns Call of Duty, right? Or Battlefield.
No, I think EA's Battlefield, Treyarch. Who owns Call of Duty? Treyarch and a couple of others. I can't remember. Raven Software and one other, I think. Activision, maybe.
Yeah, but everybody's being bought up by Microsoft right now. I think Activision got bought by Microsoft. The gaming world, and with the recent release of a second price hike on Game Pass, because our last episode, my lower third, I called them out for that. You know, $30 a month to own nothing. And you're not getting anything except like Fortnite Crew and maybe a couple other things.
You know they're trying to say in the future that you will never actually own a digital copy of your game. You're merely leasing it for full price. And they can change it or take it away from you at any point in the terms and conditions.
Yeah, and there's another money-making thing with EA with Madden, if people didn't notice, that when you go into Madden, you have advertisers that rotate around in the stadiums. Have you noticed that with FIFA?
Oh, no. I've not played it in a few
They've done
years.
that for years, where whoever's paying for advertisements in the game, they upload the code, and now the new advertiser is on the Tron or these little things around the stadium.